90s, which is when the book was set, which is when I was growing up, to now, to the 2020s. And the conversation about Asian Americans has changed, so those changes needed to be reflected in the adaptation. And then the second choice we made was, rather than taking graphic novel and adapting it to a movie, we chose to adapt it to a television series, which is open-ended. You know, the graphic novel is finite. It's just 200 pages, one and done, and that's it. So when you do that, you actually have to expand the world quite a bit to make sure it can fit everything you want to fit into it, to fill out that, you know, that possibly open-ended structure. And a lot of that was because of Kelvin. Like, Kelvin was the one that handled the bulk of that.
How you like discovering the book yourself?
Yeah, it was gifted to me and sat on my shelf until just last week. I just read it. Not done. I actually, it sat on my shelf for a few months until I got on a plane, and I was like, oh, this will be perfect, I'll bring this. And I read it twice on that flight. And I think I probably read it 30 or 40 times at this point, maybe more. And I will say, it sounds cliche, but you do discover more and more every time you read it, because I think it hits you wherever you're at. Like, you might identify with one character or another. And then there are little bits of humor that don't play the first time, and then you find them the next time. I think in adapting it was a challenge. I think the biggest challenge was trying to combine the heart and the humor of Luen, because he has a way of hitting you sort of above the neck and below the neck at the same time. You know, it's really intellectual, and yet you're also really feeling everything in it. And like I said, updating it. And then the big change, I think, was bringing Chinn's family into it. And I'm so happy that Yen and Chinn Han are here today, because, you know, the actor's job is to essentially fill in the blanks. You know, and that's everything. That's sort of everything. You know what I mean? Because the blanks are what make it real. And they just embody it so much. And I know if you're going to talk about a 15-year-old's experience, you're going to talk about parents. And so I just would love to hear them say, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they got more shine in this show than in the book, right? So you guys created this character.
Yeah, I think when I first read the book, and Jean and Kelvin and Destin introduced me to it, there were two panels, I think, with the parents, and then one of it was the back of the dad's head. So there was so much to go on.
That was the audition. We had you just sit backwards.
And then I said I had to do it. You know, the back of his head looked pretty good.
You got it. You got the job.
No, but I think they created a family that's very real and authentic, and I think that was the thing that we did going into rehearsals with Yen and Benoit. We actually spent a lot of time when we were not shooting, doing a lot of things off set, right? So some of the things were we ate together a lot. Yen took them shopping. Yen was always cooking for them. Ben was sometimes cooking for us, and the kids were crazy. I mean, they would watch like all of Harry Potter in one day, or 6 movies.
Not just Ben; it's all the kids from the show. Jimmy and Sydney.
Yeah, it became a little family. You guys.
Yeah, it's a little family. And this one day they were in my apartment, and this lady came over and said she needs some help. And then she looked at us, she's like, are they all your kids?